Assalamu alaikum people. In this video we will study about steps in data science process. Basically, in my previous lecture I have explained you detail of data sciences, its uses, its application, its flaws, its implication in industries. Apart from that, all the technical terms which are used in data sciences we have discussed in the previous videos. If you didn't watch these videos and if you want to know about these terms, so you can watch my previous videos. The link is given in the bio. And before proceeding further, I want you people to subscribe my channel and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. So let's begin the lecture. So basically in data science we have so many steps which are important to analyze the data, which are important to extract the data, which are important to get the value from the raw data. Okay, so what are the things? First we need to build, then we need to explore, then we need to scale it. Basically we need to change it, then we need to report it, and then we need to act it. So these are just the main headings. One by one we will discuss all these terms with all the above mentioned steps. So first we will study, we need to acquire data. After that, once we get the data, we need to prepare it. After that we need to analyze it, then we need to report it, and then we need to act on that data. So as I said that we will study each steps one by one. So first we need to acquire data. In acquire data, what we do is basically we identify data set, that which type of data we have, whether it's structured, it's unstructured, it's raw form, which type of data we have, semi-structured. Then we need to retrieve data. We retrieve data by applying proper techniques. We will study all these techniques in the same lecture. Then we need to query the data. So in acquiring data, we keep this thing in our mind that we leave no stone unturned. We have to go for every source for data. Identify suitable data which is related to your research, which is relevant to your research topic, which is relevant to your business. Then acquire all the available data. Okay, so whatsoever data is available, whatsoever the source which we are using, that could be text form, that could be any social media platform, that could be any web server. So you have to get the data which is related to your work. After that, so as I said that there are different sources basically. So what we need to do is, in traditional database, the technique which we are using, that are SQL and query browser. Basically in traditional database we extract the data in the form of SQL and query browser. For that we use the platform MySQL Workbench, Oracle SQL developer. For definitely we are using the source of or platform of Oracle. After that, in text file, if our data is in text file and we want to extract it, so for that we are using scripting language, and in scripting language we are using Ruby on Rails, we are using Python, we are using R, we are using Perl, and we are using JavaScript. After that, if you have a remote data, you have a data in the form of definitely remote, so for that we are using web services. And in web services we are using HTML5, we are using RSS, we are using JSON, we are using XML, which we are using SOAP. All these platforms are open source and you can easily get that. Just you need to have a grip on any one of these platforms. After that, if you are using no SQL storage, then you need to have some APIs and web services. And for that, the sources which we need is, we need MongoDB, we need Cloudera, we need CouchDB, we need Apache HBase, and we need Cassandra and Neo4j. Then it's a case study basically. wildfire we are having, and in that we need to keep in the mind is we have historical weather, that what was the previous condition of the weather that was stored in SQL. Then what is the current weather, for that we search for WebSocket, and after that real time tweets near the fires. So for that we look forward for our Twitter platform or whatsoever the social media we are following. After that, if I'll summarize this acquiring data, and here we are having a four basically storage platform: traditional database, remote database, text file, and no SQL storage. So we studied all this in detail. Let's proceed further. After that, we need to prepare data. In prepare data we have two steps: one is explore, another is pre-process. So in explore, basically what we do in explore I will teach you in detail. Basically in explore what we do is we look forward for which type of data we have to explore basically. Okay, so we can have data of unstructured nature of data. We can have a preliminary analysis first, that which type of data we have. So basically we analyze basically first through different techniques. Okay, first we conduct primary analysis, which is preliminary analysis, as I said, that to know the nature of data that can be noisy, that can be ambiguous, or error in data. Okay, so we mark that, that is preliminary stage. Okay, what we do basically, I'm going to repeat it. Basically we say that which type of data we have. We can have a noisy data, we can have error in data, and we can have ambiguous data. Okay, then we realize that unstructured nature of data, how much data we have unstructured. Unstructured means that we don't know about which format of data is coming, whether that is audio, that could be video, that could be text file, whatsoever data. Okay, then what we do is basically we apply the techniques, and why exploring the data, that is the need. Then we correlate the data, that what is the basically need of data. Then we follow the general trends in the data, and we identify the outlier. Okay, we definitely explore through correlation, and for correlation we follow the clustering method. Clustering method I will teach you in the next slide. Then through visualization we get whether the data is feasible or not. After that we general trend, we get whether the data is feasible or not, and for that we identify the outliers. Like you can see that here we are having an outlier, and we separate that from our data, and then we apply the techniques of mean, median, mode to get the data in the proper form. Then as I said that we apply visualization technique. For visualization technique we get that whether the data is feasible or not, and which type of data do we have. For that we can use different type of graphs: histogram, line graph, heat map, scatter plot, and box plot. Then after that data exploration to informed analysis. Data exploration we have, then we understand the data. For that understanding we learn that we correlate data, and then we have analysis, then we have visualization, informed analysis. Then once we done with explore data, then we need to pre-process. For pre-process we clean, and then we transform. In clean what we do is basically that making in packages in something is ready for analysis. Basically in that we applying filtering. Okay, so we clean the data through the process of filtration, then we integrate data, and then we make packages. Okay, this is the important thing. First, in making pre-process we clean the data, keep it in mind, we integrate the data, and we make a package. So initially we have the data in raw form, then we clean the data, we remove the redundancy, we remove the duplication, we remove the unnecessary data, then we integrate and we make a package which is useful. So basically real world data is so messy. Data can be inconsistent, data can be duplicate, data can be invalid, we have outliers, we have missing values. So what we do basically, what is our main target? So we remove the data missing values, we remove the redundancy, and we get the consistent data, we remove the outliers, and generate best estimated values. Okay, so we have to get the data in shape basically. So all these terms are similar: data munging, data pre-processing, and data wrangling. Okay, keep it in mind: data pre-processing, data mungling, and data wrangling. So in data munging, what we do is basically we pre-process data by using dimensionality reduction, scaling, transformation, data manipulation, and data feature selection. So I'm going to explain that what is dimensionality reduction. In dimensionality reduction, what we do is basically we reduce values. Okay, so we have a lot of values. In fact, this is the better one. Okay, data reduction, we reduce the values. Suppose you have a lot of data and you have to get the result two dimension, three dimension you have, but for the time being you need the data in two dimensions. So basically what we do is we reduce the value. Okay, then in data transformation, what we do is we follow the sampling technique, and the data is so scattered, you can see that, but after transformation we get the transformed and proper form of the data. In scaling phase, we basically bring data in proper form, and you can just, by example, you can see we scale the value. Basically you have a weight, but according to height you manage that, yeah, according to height this is the weight of the person, this should be the weight of person, and you gave it a proper value. Okay, then data manipulation. In data manipulation, increase efficiency of data by adding values. Okay, we increase the efficiency of basically data. We have a messy data, you can see that this color is three times, but here we just give it a one, and we manipulated the data like it is the representation of this color. In the organization you have so many departments, so many employees, but you manipulate the data and say that, yeah, these are the person of who can work on data science, so they should be in the same department. Then feature selection. For feature selection, we remove feature, we add feature, we combine feature in order to get the transform data. Okay, so once I'm going to repeat it. What we do is we basically transform data, we analyze data, we scale data, we give the dimensionality to data, and we reduce, definitely dimensionality reduction and feature selection. Keep it in mind, if we give the garbage to system will give garbage to us, and we prepare data. So it's very important to give the valuable data to your system for analysis process, and all these process we studied before. Now we analyze data. In the analysis phase, basically we select an analytical technique and we build model. So we give input to our system, we analyze technique, and we construct the model, and output model is in front of us. After that we have to categorize it. We can give it a classification, we classify them, we perform regression analysis, we perform association analysis. After that we are having clustering technique and graph analytics. One by one we will study all. In classification, basically what is our goal is predict category, that what in what category our problem lies. Here I'm added an example of weather. In weather we say, identify that whether the weather is sunny, windy, rainy, or cloudy. So basically we predict category. In clustering, what our goal is to organize similar item into groups. So you can see that here we are having a lot of people, but we organize into similar groups. We are having a seniors, here we are having an adult, and here we are having a teenager. Green is representation of teenagers, yellow is the representation of adults, and red is the representation of seniors. In regression, what we do is predict numeric values. Here like we can give it a name of, we are having 10% of seniors, 20% juniors, and 30% adults. After that we perform graph analytics. In graph analytics, our goal is to find connection between entities, like what is the relation between senior, teenagers, or adult, or what is the relation between sunny or windy weather, what is the relation between cloudy or rainy weather. So here basically we perform graphical analytics. And association. In association, our goal is to find rules to capture association between items. We in shopping malls, we are having a baby product with a bear, so people who purchase the baby product are more likely to purchase the bear as well. So here we have just associate them. So after that we are having a modeling technique. In modeling technique, we select that technique. Okay, so what we do basically, we select technique, we build model, and we validate model. Like here, these are the techniques which we studied, and we need to build a model according to requirement, and then we validate. You can see that build model, these are the techniques, this is the model which is built. You can build any model according to your requirement. Then we evaluate is what? Evaluate is basically validation process, whether your system is according to requirement or not, whether you have applied proper technique, whether your model is perfect or not. After that we report. Okay, so in report basically what we do is, we in this phase result is presented in graphical form. We follow the visualization technique. Okay, this is result is basically realization. You get these, you can get values, you can get different type of outcomes depend upon your input. So as I said that result is basically representation in graphical form or visual form. So this is the graphical form, which is the heat map in the initial slides we discussed, and these are the visualization forms. After that, these are the visualization tools. You can study one by one. I am personally using R or Python, and you can study whatever you want, just you need to have command in any one of those. Okay, after that reporting, what we did, we present with, okay, we present result by using graphical form and our visualization technique. Then we have result. So in result, definitely we said that, see basically that, or we identify basically that the result is according to requirement, is that fulfill our purpose or not. After that, big data. In big data, what we have a lot of techniques where we are having we get the data from social media, we get the data from sensors, we get the data from files, we get the data from NoSQL techniques, we get the data from database, and as a result what we get is action. Okay, so explain what turning insight into action means. What was our insight, so our action is according to that or not. Okay, in reporting, definitely main purpose of this phase is to represent result in attractive forms. And after that, how to implement the action. Okay, we implement the action on the basis of what was our process, automation, and stakeholders are basically decision makers. After that, we have to assess the impact. Okay, so we monitor, we measure, and we evaluate. Okay, monitor, first we monitor that whether our result is according to the requirement or not. Then we measure that what is the basically stakeholders, what is the decision of them, and then we evaluate. Okay, so how to action, basically either the result is favorable, we'll have a favorable result, or if the result won't be favorable, then we need to revisit, and we will revisit. Then we have to identify that whether we have further opportunities or not in evaluation phase. Here you can see that we monitor, we measure, then we evaluate. And in evaluation basically process, what we need to do is favorable result, and if the result is favorable or not, then we need to revisit and further opportunity. Then we have determine next step, we take the real time action. After that, definitely the data science is an iterative process. If you commit a mistake in reporting phase or analysis phase, then you have to start from the acquire phase. Then you check that whether you collect the data in proper form or not. In prepare, you see that whether you properly clean it. And pre-process or explore phase, and in analysis you identify that whether you select the proper analysis technique or not, whether you have mistakes in clustering phase, in analysis phase, and whatsoever phase. So friends, that all for today's video. If you like my video, so don't forget to subscribe my channel and give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching.